Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Leader Lab. This is Leadership Shorts, quick thoughts to help you level up your leadership. My name is Chad Wright. I'm the founder of Forward Partners, and I am joined, as always, by my partner in podcasting, Emily Grace Deal. Emily Grace Deal, what are we talking about today?
Well, we often talk about how important it is to be intentional about having good habits.
Yes.
It's also important to be intentional about when we engage with things that aren't as good for us.
Well, it's funny how often we default to, we got to have better habits. We got to embrace them. We got to be intentional about them because we do. Like those tiny little good habits are what orient us towards health and what build us up as healthy leaders, right? But I think any journey that is designed for perfection, it's never going to go well, right? I joke all the time in my talks that I give about the fact that I love scotch and I love pizza. And I do love those two things a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, if I designed a journey that was only good habits and involved no scotch and no pizza, that's not a good journey. That's not a journey, I'm ever going to be able to live up to, which means I'm going to feel like a failure all the time. And so I think we got to be intentional about bad habits because I think, and this is my theory, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, if we're hyper intentional about a bad habit, could it be a good habit?
Oh, okay. So the phrasing might be the one we got to work on.
So here's an example. Let's talk about whiskey. One of my favorite subjects. So what I love to do, and this is where I think it goes from being a bad habit to being a good habit, is I love to finish a great day with just a couple fingers of whiskey, sit on the back porch, like genuinely sip it and just enjoy and think about my day. Think about the things that we did and the impact we had. And I find gratitude in that.
Well, that's what restores you. We talk about that.
It is. It's restorative. It's restful for me. Now, it's the hyper intentionality of here's the number of days I'm willing to do that a week. Here's the amount of whiskey I'm willing to consume. That hyper intentionality, I think, turns it from a bad habit to a good habit.
Mm-hmm.
It's when it's not intentional, when it's I'm just going to pour whatever lands in my glass because I've had a rough day, and then we'll see where that leads after that. That is no longer helpful.
Right. Well, it's like when you don't even have those thoughts. Those are also like you are just going, you know what, this is going to make me feel better.
Yes.
And then you just go from there. You're not even having the thoughts of like, I'm just going to do this. It's just like, here we go.
Yes.
You know, like, so I recently had to start being really healthy about or being really aware of what I'm eating.
Yes.
And for health reasons, we are not nutritionists. I will say that to begin with. But my mom and I are doing it together.
Yeah.
And we keep having this conversation about it's not, I'm bad because I cheated on this and I, had the Oreos that I shouldn't have been eating.
Yes.
It's more like, okay, I'm going to eat one Oreo instead of the box of Oreos. And
you're just reminding me of a comedian I watched the other day. He's like, a serving size of Oreos is 2 Oreos. He's like, 2 Oreos is what I eat on the way to the couch to eat the rest of the Oreos.
You have to test if the milk is ready to go.
Exactly. How do you not eat an entire sleeve? How do you leave some left behind?
My mom always says the first bite tastes, or not, the second bite doesn't taste as good as the first bite. Lie. That's a lie. But I mean, point being is that you also can't go, oh, just today I'm going to have one Oreo. And then the next day go, oh, it's just one Oreo. And then the next day be like, oh, it's, you have to think about what you're doing and be intentional about it.
Yeah.
And it's for good reason. It's not all or nothing. Like, oh, I didn't eat well today, so I could just stop.
Yes.
It's okay.
Intentionality is planning it out, right? It's being very intentional about what, and really I think why.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I doing it this way? Is there a bigger reason behind it? You want to be healthier. You need to be healthier.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be a healthy leader. I want to continue to get healthier physically. It's kind of a journey I've been on. That's my why. That's the reason why this intentionality matters. And I think it's understanding some of these bad things, if you're intentional, I really do think it becomes good.
Right. Well, we also talk about playing video games.
Yeah,
it's the same way. I can't sit and play video games all day long.
Mm-mm.
That's not restorative. But sitting and hanging out, my husband and I play video games together.
Yes.
So like sitting and playing a few rounds of video games with him is totally good for me.
Yes.
Like that helps both of us.
Absolutely.
So we just have to be smart about it and not sit and do it all Sunday, like just a couple in the morning.
And you can always tell when you've crossed that line, but it's just the intentionality. Instagram Reels where I watch comedians talk about Oreos, I will occasionally lay in bed and I'm like, you know what, for the next half hour, I'm doing nothing but scrolling Reels, and that's what I want to do.
Right.
And I'm being intentional. I'm going to cut it off at some
There's
point.
a point where it's funny and you're laughing and you feel better. And then there's a point when you get to the weird stuff and you're like, I should turn my phone off.
Which other Emily can attest to. There's some weird stuff in my feed. It's very odd. Ultimately, I think that intentionality really can change the reason behind things and change how we experience them. Pizza is a great example. If you get your 1 day a week pizza, hey, I'm going to enjoy this, celebrate this. A friend of mine, Tony, like we meet at a pizza place specifically.
Hey, Tony, we know you're listening. Thank you.
Tony is our number one fan. I'm going to have a t-shirt printed for him that says Chad and Emily's number one fan. Tony and I, we have lunch very specifically at Via 313 Pizza because we love eating there. Mm-hmm. And by the way, in that, we have great connection and we support each other and we look out for each other's leadership health and we have great conversations. And pizza is a part of that. And so I have trouble looking at that pizza going, that's bad,
right.
And so I think there is something to embracing some bad habits along with the good. But we have our green light habits worksheet. Maybe we need a bad habits worksheet to go along with it. But it's just being hyper intentional about it. I think there's something
healthy doses of bad habits.
Healthy doses of bad habits. I love that idea. Leaders, let's talk about next steps. So really think through your habits. Think through some of those things that you do that are probably not the healthiest for you. But if you were hyper intentional about them, if you were careful about when, where, and how much you consumed of whatever it is, it might be better for you. It might actually take something that is traditionally probably not great and turn it into something really, really good. Turn it into something intentional and careful and use it for your flourishing. I think there's something to that. Emily, if people want to send us their list of bad habits, which by the way, I would love to see.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. Where do they send that to?
To lab@forwardpartners.net.
Lab@forwardpartners.net. If they want to find us on LinkedIn where we're putting out leadership content all the time, where do they find that?
@ForwardPartner.
@ForwardPartner. Emily, thank you for doing this. Thank you for sharing your bad habits. I'm an Oreo fan as well. They're almost never in the house, but when they are, I'm like, I got about 2 weeks of
Oreos
really
and
bad
Rocky Road
eating right here.
I love Rocky Road ice cream.
Yes.
So.
Is that the one with the marshmallows in it?
Yeah, and almonds.
I have some Tillamook Rocky Road in my freezer right now. John, Porchlight Productions Vineyards, has some really weird bad habits. We're not going to get into those. Emily, other Emily, thank you for bringing the vibes. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for having bad habits, I guess. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Right here in the Leader Lab for Leadership Shorts.